Okay, we are live. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tech News that Jerome Ortega finds interesting, episode 35. Today is Thursday, February 20th. Am I right? Yeah, Thursday, February 20th. I am, what is it, 8:02 a.m. I'm still waking up. So good morning to everyone. Good morning to, well, good afternoon to other people, maybe evening for others that are not in the US. Again, I'm assuming not many people from the US are going to be watching this live because they're either working or whatever. But so today I want to go over a couple things. And a lot of this news is still going to be really fresh for me because I've just been pretty busy this week, so I haven't had a chance to even really go through this news. I just found, again, stuff that I really wanted to learn about, get into, and so I'll probably just be going through a lot of this news as it comes. Like I'll be reading it with you guys, kind of, informing you guys, but informing myself as well. So I think the first thing I want to get into is talk about Android 11. It looks like Android 11, the developer preview came out. Is it yesterday? I think it came out yesterday. Let me share this screen. Sorry about that. Let me share this screen and kind of go through, looks like the features, other quirks that came out and what people are finding. There are other couple stories that came out that I found that came out that I want to share, and there are a lot of them. So I'm just going to go through them. I'm going to read through them. Whatever I learn, I'll share with you guys. Feel free to talk and chat. Let me know what I might be missing here. That's not the share screen I want to show. Where is that other share screen? There we go. Okay. So the first article I have here is with Android 11. Android 11's new conversation notifications come with enhanced long press options. It says here, long press is the new right click. So notification management has always been the feature that Android absolutely nails. And we've already covered that Google continues improving it in Android 11 with the addition of a conversations class. It bundles real-time, bi, or multi-directional communication at the top of the notification shade. So, okay. We've now also noticed that these conversations notifications offer a slew of new long press options that help you manage them. The long press menu for regular notifications remains unchanged, though. When you long press these conversations, you can favorite, snooze, or mute them, though these workflows don't seem to be finished at the moment. Again, so everything that's going to be coming out for Android 11, none of this is official yet. This is still, like kind of beta testing. This is something that if you have a Pixel, you can get ahead of time, kind of test it out, see what new features are around. Hey, Brian, how's it going? Made it. Are you still in Iceland? I keep forgetting. I keep thinking you're working. Anyway, Brian, nice to have you on. Okay, so let me see. Where did I leave off here? You can't choose snooze durations, and favoriting someone doesn't really do anything, though we assume this might hook into contact and phone starred contacts to enable do not disturb exemptions eventually. A crossed out messages symbol to the right of a contact's information lets you demote the notification from a conversation to a regular one, but this option might very well be removed from the stable release of Android 11. It could be meant to tame apps that don't work well with the new API at the moment. The gear icon takes you to the usual notification settings. So can I open these? No, these are a lot smaller than I really wanted to show them. So it says here, regular notification, long press menu. And then, okay, so alerting and silent. And then the middle image here, conversation notification, long press. So after you long press it. And then a bubble interface. It's a little hard for me to really go through a lot of just messages because I don't really use a lot of messages for or use the messages app anymore for a lot of my stuff. I usually tell people to message me on Telegram, or I have a lot of friends that I talk to that still use Hangouts. So those are really the two that I use. I'm not really big on messages, but I mean, it's good to see them continue to put stuff out here. If you choose the option, quote, show as bubble, the conversation will be broken out into a new, completely revamped bubble interface that lets you access the full app experience in a floating window, much like Facebook Messenger's chat heads. Okay. Well, I don't use Facebook. I don't use Facebook Messenger. I guess a lot of people do. It's not really my thing. It makes sense to put conversations front and center in the notification shade, though hiding many critical features behind a long press menu might not be the most intuitive way to interact with them for many people. The conversation section also push media notifications further down, though Android 11's experiment tests showing these among the quick setting tiles. So maybe Google is working on a satisfactory solution here. Yeah, I don't know if any of you guys have downloaded or have gotten the developer preview 1 for Android 11 yet. If you have, let me know. George, hey, morning, George. How's it going, man? How you doing today? Okay, so that there's a ton of articles, and I'm actually going to go through all of these, going through Android 11. So let's see here. So that was something in messages. There might be another article on that, and if there is, we might skim through it to see if there's anything different in here. So this article, again, from Android Police, funky Android 11 experiment moves audio controls to quick settings. No more playback controls in your notifications. No more playback controls in your what? Okay, so the first Android 11 developer preview, blah, blah, blah. We keep finding tons of new features in it, which you can check out in the widget above. There are also some hidden changes not activated out of the box. And our friends at XDA Developers stumbled upon one of these. They've managed to put audio controls in the quick settings panel above the notifications. Oh, okay. So like right here, can I open this? Huh. Okay. That's different. I don't know. That looks a little busy. I still would have rather have this in a separate like bubble below it. You know what I mean? Again, it's a developer preview, so none of this is final yet. But okay, they've managed to put audio controls into the quick settings panel above the notifications, making media playback instantly accessible no matter how many messages you receive. Oh, okay, so it stays at the top instead of just getting pushed down. Because here, it's all in this one bubble then for quick notifications. I don't know. I mean, yeah, as long as it's accessible. I don't know. I feel like this should still be a separate bubble. I don't know. Okay, let's go on here. I'm a very aesthetics guy, so like when I see stuff like that, yeah, I don't know how I feel about it right now. It might be because this is white and this is black, and I'm just like, okay. Let me continue. When you pull down from the top of your display, the music player widget looks like a smaller version of the familiar notification card it usually sits in. It's positioned to the right of the regular quick settings tiles and forces them into a 2 lines layout. When you swipe down once more, okay, so this is after a second swipe down, the widget moves to the bottom of the tiles, revealing the otherwise familiar 3x3 button grid. In this position, the playback controls are also expanded, revealing thumbs up and thumbs down buttons, okay, which are like right here, which app the audio is from, and on which device it's playing on. So the left and middle, the new QuickTile audio player interface. Yeah, I mean, I guess this works. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's a color thing that's bothering me. And then the right is the regular playback. No, yeah, like this is how it typically is. And I don't know. That seems simple enough. Okay, so since XDA developers had to dig into system flags to activate this layout, okay, so it's not, it looks like XDA had to force this layout to get it to work this way. We're not sure if this change is meant to stick or if it'll be fully deprecated at a later stage. The widget certainly looks weird and a little, okay, so they agree, and a little out of place, but maybe it just takes a while to get used to. Maybe if this was all in night mode, Okay, I got to stop talking about the colors. It's also unclear how this interface would work on the lock screen or how it would accommodate multiple audio player sources at once, which usually sit in notifications below each other. I, for one, would still greet this change as it would let me swipe twice to quickly get playback controls down to an easily accessible position right by my thumbs. So, okay. No audio. Brian, are you not? Okay, I think other people are getting audio. So, uh, let's see here. LS Cargo. Am I getting that name right? LS Cargo Red. Thanks for joining the stream. Copying Apple, just as always. George seems a bit confusing for me, but I'm old. Stop it, George. William, duplicated. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's just I don't use deprecated in that sense. Anyway, William, thanks for joining the stream. Nice to have you here. Getting good audio here. Okay, good. Just making sure. So, okay, so we've talked about messages in Android 11. Now this is the audio thing. And then I have this article here from Talk Android called Android 11 Features. Here's what's new in Google's latest OS. Interested in also, this is, I don't know what this is supposed to signify as far as this icon. I just want it to go back to the old school. Give me a food name, kind of have a little fun with it, but I don't know. I don't know if Google's about fun anymore. I think they're about, you know, I don't know if you guys can hear the sirens. I'm just letting it pass. Okay, it's passed. Okay. Okay, Android 11 features. Here's what's new in Google's latest OS. Interested in setting up the early Android 11 developer preview, but want to see if it's worth going through the hassle first? We've got you covered. Okay, so these guys are going to talk about what features are on here. I don't think I've ever really gone through an article from Talk Android. Anyway, let's just see what they have to say. New Android 11 features. This is the earliest we've seen a new build of a new Android OS, with the official developer preview kicking off in late Feb. There are several new features to talk about already, though, despite the OS not being finished. We'll likely see some new features by the time Google I/O rolls around, but in the meantime, you can check out all of the newest Android 11 features right here. So, chat bubbles. Interested in Facebook Messenger-esque chat bubbles for your messaging apps? Okay, let me just really go quick about Facebook Messenger. One, I don't use Facebook. Two, I don't use Facebook Messenger, but apparently a lot of people do. I don't. I've tried Facebook Messenger before, and I've always found those chat bubbles annoying. I don't know. It might just be me. I just don't like that kind of stuff popping up when I don't want it to pop up, and then I gotta like swipe it away or whatever. I don't know if that's exactly how they're doing it with Android 11. You know, I have a Pixel 4. I have not even tried downloading it yet. Again, I was saying earlier when I first started the stream, I've been really busy this week, so I haven't even had a chance. I didn't even know that this came out until like late last night when I was kind of searching through articles. So it's something that I will put on my Pixel 4. I'll probably make a separate dedicated video for it to kind of give you my thoughts. But for now, I want to read through this news, kind of see what's out there and see if there's anything worthwhile. So, okay, chat bubbles. Interested in Facebook Messenger-esque chat bubbles for your messaging apps? Android 11 has you covered. These bubbles were actually rumored to launch with Android 10, but it never quite happened. With Android 11, apps can take advantage of these floating bubbles to keep your conversations on top of your screen. The apps will have to take advantage of this, obviously, but it's something that other apps, Facebook Messenger and other Android skins, Samsung's One UI, have already offered. Okay, nice to see Android get a native implementations. Send images in quick reply. Okay. Do you like to reply to text with reaction images and memes? Yes, that's something I do, but wish the process could be a little quicker. One of the new Android 11 features speeds up this process by allowing for an image response right from the notification shade. Now, when you send a quick reply to a text message or to a text message from a notification, you can also paste an image right into that reply box. Huh. No need to open the app, just paste your meme and get on with your day. I wonder how easy that is. Like, I mean, I like the idea. I guess we'll just have to see how that goes. Better permissions. Android permissions have steadily improved over the years, and they're continuing to get better with one of these new Android 11 features. If an app asks for your permission for something, like, say, your location, you can deny it. Okay, if it asks again and you deny it twice, Android will take that as you refusing to give the app your location permanently, and it'll stop bothering you going forward. Thank you. Thank you for that. I like that. There's nothing more annoying than it asking you time and time and time again. You'll also be able to temporarily grant permissions for things like that. And as soon as you close the app, that permission gets revoked. That's great for things like sharing your location or allowing access to a camera or microphone. Okay. Biometric security improvements. Biometric security is growing very quickly on Android after originally starting with simple fingerprint scanners. Now we have iris recognition, facial recognition, in-display fingerprint scanners, and we'll likely see even more nuanced methods of authentication in the next few years. With Android 11, biometric security has 3 levels of authenticator type: strong, weak, and device credential. That creates more granular security and should make all of the apps on your device a little more secure. On top of that, Google has improved the biometric API interface to make it a little cleaner within Android. Okay, so looks like it's a lot more behind the scenes stuff for that. I mean, security is great. I mean, security is something I always push for, but it's behind the scenes, it looks like. And, as long as they're doing their job, which these days it's hard to tell how well security is really doing their job. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. As far as leaks and things getting hacked into, sometimes it's, sorry, if I could just flip this camera around, I would. There are just pigeons. There are pigeons at this building here that just sit on the perch, and they're like literally right. Okay. Let me just, I'm sorry, guys. It's early in the morning and I'm waking up and I'm just like, I'm trying to get in the groove here. And sorry, Andrew. And this is also different for me because usually when I do a stream, when I first started doing streams, I was doing it with Mike, Simply Your Device, George, Mobile Geezer, who's in here, and Will. And it's kind of hard doing it just by myself, but I'm trying to get used to it and trying to get comfortable, like sitting here talking for however long it takes me to do these streams. Again, this is a continuing thing, a growing thing, is something in progress, but I feel like I'm getting better at it, hopefully. So bear with me. Okay, so Android prepares for 5G. Yeah, I've ranted about 5G the other day, and it's something I'll probably rant about until like 5G is really up and running and stable, and it's not something that I fully believe in right now. I'm not saying that I don't believe in 5G. I'm saying it'll be the standard. It'll be good. It's just not today, even though they're trying to make it today, and it's not there just yet. But okay, so Android prepares for 5G. 5G is one of the next biggest changes in mobile, right alongside folding devices. Google is preparing for that with one of these new Android 11 features. Android devices running Android 11 will be able to tell if your 5G connection is metered or unlimited. If it's unlimited, then the phone can automatically download and present higher resolution images and videos to better match 5G's significantly improved speeds. Other APIs will also allow easier access to checking your 5G connection speeds. Small changes, but it's what we want to see before 5G really starts to swing. Okay, yeah, no, that's great. I like the little part here about before 5G really starts to swing, which means they're nowhere close to making it swing, which means 5G is still not ready yet today, but they're still marketing it as if it's up and running and perfect, and it's not. It's not. So let me see here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going through the comments right now. I would rather the controls be near the bottom. That I'm assuming you're talking about the audio notifications, right? I hear you on that. JD, hey, welcome to the stream, JD. Thanks for making it. I don't use chat bubbles. It gets in the way of using the phone for multitasking. Yes, completely agree. That's how I feel about chat bubbles. It's not for me. It's not my thing. George, I use Facebook and Messenger a bit. Messenger works very well, but can be very annoying. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. I think it was I think Mike and Will also told me that they use, or they have a lot of friends who use Facebook Messenger, and it's something that I don't think a lot of my friends use, or maybe they do, and like I just tell them message me on Hangouts or message me on Telegram. So I don't use Facebook Messenger. I'm guessing, is there a way to use Facebook Messenger without having those chat bubbles pop up? Like, is there a way to just get a notification and not have that like little bubble come up at the bottom? Because I mean, I'm not saying that if you could disable that, then I would use it. I'm just curious. I just don't like that kind of stuff happening on mine. George asks, maybe I'm dense. What does 5G metered mean? I actually don't know. I'm guessing it's I thought maybe I'm Googling it right now. So I'm just guessing that how I thought it was worded here was that it wasn't like fully available. Like you're not, it's you're not getting the full potential of it. But let me see here. 5G metered. Da-da-da. Sorry, I'm like Googling it to how 5G enables advanced metering infrastructure. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Smart metering enables smart grids to connect. Oh, this is just other utilities. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's actually a really good question. Something that if someone else in chat can help answer, that would be great. Something that I'd probably have to look into as well. Anyway, let me see here. Let me go back to my. That's not the one. I don't like that weird shared screen. There we go. That one's a lot better. JD, yeah, you can disable it. Okay, so you can disable the Facebook Messenger chat head stuff, but again, it's not something I'm going to use. So yeah, but it's good to know. It's good to know. Okay. Let's see. Let's go on. New Android 11 feature suggests Pixel 5 might support reverse wireless charging. Okay. Okay. I'm looking at this and it's kind of hard not to be a little cynical because the Pixel 4 has already, I just made a video about this. It has so battery life and they want to do reverse wireless charging, which means okay, let me save my opinions for after this article. Last night, Google dropped the first developer preview of its upcoming Android 11 mobile operating system. While the company listed some features such as floating chat bubbles and limited location data access on its blog, there are some nifty hidden features in this version too. Sleuths at XDA developers who installed the developer preview found a hidden menu called Battery Share under Settings. The report notes that Google has added new code for this feature, and it might be working on reverse wireless charging for the upcoming Pixel 5. Okay, I'm holding my opinions here. So the code suggested it's a Google feature and not an Android open source project feature that'll be available to all phones with Android 11. So it's likely that the feature exclusively meant for the Pixel phones. I can't share that image bigger, so let's just read. Google introduced support for wireless charging 2 years ago. Okay. Reverse wireless charging is handy when you need to top up your compatible earbud, smartwatch, or a friend's phone with a hint of battery life. Yeah. Okay. So here is what I was trying to stop laughing at. However, last year's Pixels were criticized a lot for their poor battery life. If Google wants to release this feature with the new Pixels, it will need to make sure these upcoming phones have sizable batteries and no battery draining software bugs. So yes, that is great to see that Android 11 wants to support reverse wireless charging. By reverse wireless charging, it pretty much means giving your battery to another device, like giving some of your battery life to, again, like your earbuds, right? If your earbuds run out of battery, or your friend has a phone that's low on battery and there's nowhere to charge, then you can share that. But if I had, I mean, I have my Pixel 4 right here, but with my Pixel 4, I am not sharing my battery with anyone, because if anyone needs battery, it's the Pixel 4. People need to be sharing their battery with me. Yeah, if the Pixel 5 wants to do this, that's great. I would love to see them again support new technology, put something out there that could be useful. But if you're going to offer this feature, you better have good battery on your phone. So, okay. So yeah, there you go. So now we've talked about new updates for Android 11 in chat, audio, and now reverse wireless charging. Okay. So let's see, what else do I have here? 9 to 5 Google has an article saying Android 11 developer preview 1's Pixel launcher preps, quote, smart hot seat back gesture tutorial. The first Android 11 developer preview, blah, 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 variety of updates. So let's see here. Smart hot seat. On the Pixel launcher, as we know it today, there's a row of 5 apps pinned just above the Google search bar, known as a hot seat. I never knew it was called a hot seat. Did you guys know that? That's new to me. These 5 apps stay in place and don't move when you flip between the pages of your launcher. In a set of new strings in the Android 11 developer preview version of Pixel Launcher, we learn that this hot seat will soon become smarter, replacing the 5 apps you choose with apps the Pixel Launcher thinks you may want to use. Once the smart hot seat launches, any blank spaces in your hot seat will be replaced with suggested apps, likely decided the same way the top row of the Pixel Launcher's drawer offers suggested apps. Okay, so if you guys don't know what they're talking about, it's when you, and actually just let me pull my Pixel right now. When you pull down on your Pixel, you have, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, do not disturb, the flashlight, tilt rotation, and battery saver. That's what comes up for mine, right? I'm guessing that's what they're talking about. I have 6 though, not 5. But there's this little quote here, or this little thing I highlighted. Pixel Launcher's drawer offers suggested apps. I don't use suggested apps. Suggested apps is when you unlock your phone and you pull down and like you're trying to find an app, and it gives you a row of apps that it thinks you're going to open. I always turn that off. I don't like that. Yes, sometimes it gets the app that I want to open up correctly, but I just feel it's redundant. I would rather just swipe up for my apps and pick the app I want, but that's just me. I mean, again, it's great to have a feature like that there for people who want it, but I always turn that off. I don't like when it suggests stuff to me because it's not, I don't know. It's like I know what I want to open and I don't need it suggesting what it thinks I might open. Anyway, and it looks like this is what they might start doing with the quote hot seat, which again, I never knew was a term. I didn't think that was what they called it. Anyway, it seems that when you first set up the new smart hot seat, the Pixel Launcher will offer to, quote, migrate you to the new version by moving your old hot seat selections to an open launcher page, or you can leave your chosen hot seat selections in place. Admittedly, I don't foresee using this smart hot seat, if only because I like the consistency of knowing where my go-to apps are as soon as I reach the home screen. Okay, so that's kind of how I feel about suggested apps, right? Like I know where my app is. I know what I want to pick. I don't need it selecting stuff for me. But again, that's just me. So back gesture tutorial. While Android 10 introduced the notion of gesture navigation, Android 11 is iterating on it further with things like side-specific back gesture sensitivity settings. Okay. For its part, the Pixel Launcher in Android 11 is adding what looks to be a simple tutorial walking folks through the basics of using Android's gesture navigation, or at least the back gesture. So, okay, so just a tutorial on swiping on the left to go back. I mean, it's a great feature that Android's added. It's something that I use on my iPhone a lot. To go back a page, you can just swipe on the left side of your screen, swipe from left to right to go back. Okay, so how to update. This is just to talk about that. So, okay. Let me see here. George is saying probably not a good idea considering Pixel's general battery issues. For reverse wireless charging, it's something that unless the Pixel 5 is going to have great battery life like how my iPhone 11 Pro does. Like I could spare battery on my iPhone 11 Pro, right? I cannot spare battery. Reminds me of that episode of Seinfeld where Elaine was in the bathroom and there was no toilet paper on the toilet paper roll, and the person next to her wouldn't spare toilet paper. Anyway, um, Jarrell, no. What are you saying no about? Jarrell, hey, what's going on? Thank you for joining the stream. For you guys that don't know, Jarrell is my cousin. Um, 6, the hot seat with Jerome. I can handle that. I can handle that. I probably can't. So 6, thank you for joining the stream. How's it going, man? How you doing? Okay, so let's see. So smart hot seat, chat, weird audio notifications, reverse wireless charging. I mean, that's a good amount of stuff already for Android 11. And I still have more articles. So this article from Android Guys, Google offers up first look at Android 11 with developer preview. So let's see if there's anything different they've added on here. This might be something I might just skim through at this point because, again, I feel like I've gone over a good portion of it. So let's see. Sorry, I'm just going to skim and see if there's anything new that we haven't talked about. The Android 11 developer preview doesn't have anything major in the ways of user interface or experience. It does, though, have a fair share of interesting new features, particularly around messaging and security. Okay. Google aims to make it easier to adopt the next gen speeds and tech for 5G. Blah, blah, blah. I don't really care about 5G yet because it's still not ready. Other features baked into Android 11 include enhancements for folding screens. I don't know if it's going to talk about what those enhancements would be for a folding screen. Hole punch displays and waterfall displays, as well as shaken/stir call screen authentication. Shaken/stir? What are with all these shaken/stir hot seat? Okay. Also included is better low latency video decoding for streaming games service like Google's Stadia. A new location permission option lets users grant a one-time access when installing or setting up an app. Okay, we talked about this earlier, which is great. It's not going to keep asking you, you want to share your location, blah, blah, blah. If you say no twice, then it's going to just stop, which is great. I welcome that. There's a fairly long list of details in the Android 11 developer preview, some more obvious to users than others. With that said, it's still designed for developers, and a lot of what's important will be behind the scenes and less overt. As we've seen in the last few years, this is just a first look. Okay, so this is, it's pretty much what we've gone through now. Okay. Do I have another? Yeah, so there's a good amount of Android 11 stuff. Let's see here. Jarrell, first time caller. Thanks, Jarrell. George, by the way, your live streaming does keep improving. George, thank you so much. I appreciate that. It is something that I'm still getting used to, but I thank you. You've been a big help for me getting this going, just getting comfortable doing something live. So I appreciate your help. You're doing just fine, enjoyable, and educational. George, again, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so this article from Android Police, Android 11 makes it easy to check what audio codecs your Bluetooth headphones support. Okay, so this one might be a little more technical, something that, again, isn't the most interesting thing, but let's see here. So it's usually difficult to figure out what kinds of audio codecs your favorite Bluetooth headphones/speakers support, at least on Android. The main method involves copying logs from your phone to a PC, then running them through an application like Wireshark. I didn't know people really went through the trouble to kind of go through all that. But I'm not that much of an audiophile. As long as it sounds good and I get the music that I want to play, then I'm glad. Thankfully, Google has made the process significantly easier on Android 11. Android already had a Bluetooth audio codec selection screen in the developer settings, but all the options are always available. So it didn't give you any information about which codecs would actually work. When you connect a Bluetooth audio device in Android 11, the menu now disables all the options that aren't supported, giving you a clear idea of which codecs work. Okay. This is a screen I don't even mess with. So I don't know if you guys do. I don't. So okay, so it says here this is Android 10 and then this is Android 11. So I guess it's okay. So it's giving you the selection of yeah. In the above screenshot, you can see my AirPods only support SBC and AAC. While there's usually not a need for most people to check audio codec support on Bluetooth audio products, me included, it does make debugging potential issues easier. Okay, so there you go. Headphones don't always automatically use the best codec. Well, that's good to know. Again, not something that I use, but it's, improvement, right? Especially for people behind the scenes. That's what it looks like. It's good for. George says, "Shaken, not stirred," is from the old James Bond movies. No, I know, I know that. It was how he preferred his martinis. I just didn't know what they were talking about in that article, and I already forgot what we were talking about specifically there. But thank you, George, for that. Okay, so what do we have here? Again, another Android 11 article. So Android 11 reorganizes everything in the Do Not Disturb settings menu. An example of some spring cleaning in Android. It's quitting time and you want to be left alone to your own devices, or maybe just the one phone you've got in your hands. Listen, I don't know what your life is like, okay? Sorry, I'm reading it like, okay, anyway. Anyways, if you're the type that likes to turn on Do Not Disturb mode every so often, you should know that each new version of Android tends to bring changes to that feature, and Android 11 is no exception. We just wish it were more exciting. I mean, how exciting can you really? Okay, so let's see here. The left is Do Not Disturb menu in Android 10, right? And then I guess I just want to see here. The right is Do Not Disturb menu in Android 11. I mean, okay. Oops. At first glance, the line for line feature placements have shifted around overall. Do Not Disturb schedules, which let you program set times for when it is on, gets its own partition, while the default duration and notification restriction items are pushed to the bottom. Notably, the menu header has moved below where it used to be. Okay. I don't really use scheduling for Do Not Disturb. If I don't want to be disturbed, I just press Do Not Disturb and then I turn it off when I'm done using it. I don't really schedule stuff. My phone, I would say 95% of the time is always on silent or vibrate, usually silent. I think a lot of us are tethered to our phones way too much, me included. I check it a lot. And just having that thing going off all the time is annoying. I have friends who do not turn their phones off and it will keep chiming. And it's like, please, just nobody wants to hear your notification. Nobody cares what it sounds like. Just turn it off. The key changes here are the shift in how Do Not Disturb is targeted. Instead of talking about messaging mediums in general, subjects are divided into people, apps, and alerts, and other interruptions. So allow calls from anyone, allow calls from contacts only, from starred contacts only, don't allow any calls. For people, you can allow certain subsets of people to call you or separately allow them to text you. You can discriminate who can have this privilege from as loosely as allowing anyone down to your contact list or your starred contacts all the way to no one at all. See, I mean, that's great. It's great that you can have that kind of like flexibility to do that. If I don't want to be disturbed, I just turn that shit off. Let me just be honest with you. On calls specifically, you can also repeat callers from your contacts list within a 15-minute period. This setting is automatically toggled off if you allow all calls. In a way, this combines two of the options in the previous menu, calls in SMS, MMS, and messaging apps into one menu. Breaking away, you might say, from the old see all exceptions item, you'll see a list of expected apps that can push notifications while you're in Do Not Disturb. You can use the built-in search function to add more as needed, though you'll have to do that for each app by accessing their app info page and hitting the enable do not disturb override toggle. Okay, so for certain apps, if you want, if you need to override it, you can. Finally, the miscellaneous elements, which include system generated sounds like alarms, reminders, and keyboard tapping to the media you play. Both audio and haptics will be muted for each event in do not disturb. Simple stuff. And if you didn't know, now you know. Now you know. Great. Good to know. Good to know. Let's see here. Brian says, just allow alerts from people you care about. Yes, I agree. Usually the only person I have there that like I need to know for sure is my mom. So, because if she needs something, then, she's the only one that has an override function for my do not disturb. George says, like you, I turn do not disturb off and on manually. No scheduling. I'm the same way. I don't know. I don't think I'm lazy about it. I just like, there are times I just don't want my phone to be going off. Like I would rather just, let it sit and not mess with it for a while. So I'm hoping this is the last Android 11 article because I'm done talking about the Android 11. God damn it. Okay. Android 11 developer preview outed by Google earlier than usual. This might just be like a very quick thing here. Yeah, there's not much to go over here. This is just about how it came out. Some of the little options here, how you can load it onto any Pixel. Pixel 2 and up. I'm just going to read this real quick in my head to see if there's anything that I need to talk about. And it looks like we've pretty much covered a lot of the stuff we need to cover. Yeah. Okay. Let's not. And I'm still looking here, and I'm seeing more of these titles. Android 11. Android 11 tries to make floating chat bubbles a thing again. See, I do my homework, guys. Like anything that seems worthwhile to talk about, I'll just pull it up because, there might be something we could miss. So it's good to read through these and kind of put everything together into one live stream. So more of this chat bubble stuff. Again, I don't really use messages. So, and we've already talked about that. Android 11's hidden battery share menu hints at Pixel 5 reverse charging. And we talked about that too. And I don't want to share is this a bigger picture of it? Yeah. So this is battery share. Your phone's battery will run out faster when using battery share, obviously. Guys, don't share your battery. Well, I'm talking too soon here. Maybe Google will surprise us this year with the Pixel 5 and it's going to be amazing. And it's going to have this huge battery that will last 2 days and it'll outlast the iPhone 11 Pro, but I seriously doubt it. But you never know. I need to be less cynical, but whatever. The Verge also had an article called The Most Interesting New Android 11 Features So Far. Bubbles, conversations, better app permissions, screen recording. Okay, we didn't go over that. I know that, screen recording was something that you could kind of hack through to do on Android 10. Google already had a version of this in Android 10's betas that didn't make its way to the final version. But screen recording is back and has a whole fancy UI. Well, so you could do screen recording in Android 10. It's just you had to connect your phone to your PC and then just mess with it there. It's something that like you couldn't just do right off your phone. But screen recording is back and has a whole fancy UI this time, which means, it's good we went through all these articles, right? Because nobody mentioned screen recording until The Verge here did, and that's great. But screen recording is back and has a whole fancy UI this time, which means that the feature may finally be shipping in Android 11. I hope so. Like, we need screen recording. I don't know why it's taking so long. It basically does what it says on the can. Records your screen. Great. Let's see here. Smaller tweaks and changes. Some little things. I haven't really. Yeah, actually, I think I saw an article on this. I don't think I have this here either. I saw something. I saw something about how they've updated something with motion sense. And motion sense is, on your Pixel 4. Sorry, I almost grabbed my iPhone there. On your Pixel 4, you can go left to right using the Soli radar system on your, sorry, I'm trying to put the phone in, you wave it so you can play the next song or whatever, which I never use. But yeah, it looks like now they're using a new gesture to play or pause music. I don't know how, is it kind of putting your hand up to your phone? I don't know. I mean, does that mean I'm going to use it now? Because now I can pause my, I just, I still think it's a gimmicky feature. The only time that would be really useful is if I was in the kitchen cooking. Guys, I'm not really in the kitchen cooking, but when I can't use my hands, right, to touch my screen, so you can wave your hand to say next song, pause. I'm guessing this is pause or play. I haven't really. Anyway, I don't know how you guys feel about it. I don't know if any of you guys have a Pixel 4 and use the Soli feature. I don't. But yeah, okay. So there are also plenty more changes that are simply under the hood, like better support. Yeah, we've went through this already. But remember, the current Android 11 developer beta is a very early version of what we'll be getting later this year. So don't get your hopes up for any major new features or big redesigns just yet. So yes, like keep that in mind. I'm talking about Android 11 here, and it's only available for Pixel devices, and you have to manually get this. So everything we went through, none of this is final yet. And usually, how this works is this is developer preview number 1, and almost every Pixel I've had, Nexus devices as well, will have other developer preview versions. So they'll update it. There'll be like a DP2, DP3. I can't remember if I've ever seen a DP4, but anyway, just this is what's to come. This is what you might be seeing for Android 11. Okay, so let's see here. Karan, I don't know what that says, Karan Hope, but thank you for joining the stream. Appreciate you stopping by. And he says, people who buy Pixels don't cook. What are you trying to say, man? But you're right. I don't really cook much at all. I'm just trying to think where you're going with that here. But again, thank you for joining the stream. Let's see. So Android Police. Bubble notifications are no longer hidden in Android 11. Last year, the Android team introduced bubble notifications as a native option. It was developing. Okay, so you'd have to activate it. Yeah. Anyway, I think this is enough Android 11 stuff. What time is it? Oh my God, did I just go through 45 minutes of talking about Android 11? Jesus Christ. I have a couple more stories here, so we'll go over this. Oh my God, there's another. Okay, so this is a Pixel 5 thing. Yeah, well, let me kind of throw this here towards the end, and we'll go through that a little later. Okay, so let's move on. There was a lot of talk. There are a couple articles here talking about Verizon. Verizon kills Google Pixel deal. Doesn't plan to sell Pixel 4a or Pixel 5. And then it says here, update, Verizon denies. So this article here, and I mean, obviously, it's already getting spoiled on that title because it says, speaking to a source familiar with the company's plans, but who was not authorized to speak on Verizon's behalf. The carrier has allegedly put on indefinite hold any plans to sell new Google Pixel smartphones. So yeah, pretty much it was saying Verizon is going to stop selling any future Pixel phones, which I guess when I first read that, I was like, okay, that's not surprising. And as someone who does not, and like, part of my French, I don't give a fuck about carriers. I really don't. Like, you can sell whatever you want. I buy my stuff carrier unlocked anyway, right? So I don't care if Verizon sells it or not. It's not a big deal to me. I know David in this article was kind of going over how a carrier who sells your phone is like the lifeblood. It helps your marketing, and it does. It's whatever. It gives you exposure, right? Because Verizon is selling your phone, or AT&T is carrying or selling your phone. But this article was talking about how, yeah, this is gonna Google doesn't sell their phones well anyway, and so that's why they're going to drop them. But now Verizon's denying that, and they say they're actually. I think there is a little, yeah. Verizon says, quote, there is no truth to this report that it will stop selling Google's Pixel phones. Quote, Verizon continues to work with Google and looks forward to the new portfolio of devices. So if you're a Verizon carrier and you buy your phones directly from Verizon, then there you go. I mean, you want to get a new Pixel 4a or a new Pixel 5, then you might be able to with Verizon. And I'm sure the only people who really care, I don't know many people that that come up to me and they're excited to say, I can't wait to go to the Verizon store and buy the new Pixel. Because that isn't a thing unless you're more of a tech enthusiast, unless you're more of a phone enthusiast. So Brian, carriers can EAD. Yeah, they can. They really can. And again, I just do not care what carriers carry what phones. Like whatever. I mean, I like to see. I like knowing that T-Mobile supported OnePlus, right? And it looks like Verizon's going to support them too. I don't know if T-Mobile will still do that. So it does give them exposure, right? Especially for people who never knew what a OnePlus phone was, and I'm one of those guys that talks to people about OnePlus phones and they're like, what's that? And so to kind of see a carrier carrying that phone, it's like, yeah, see what I was talking about. Now this carrier, but I don't care. Like it's whatever. So yeah, Verizon says that, or there was a little blurb here, and then a couple other articles were picking up on this story, or other couple like media outlets or whatever. CNET was saying it too. Android Central. So, and they were all picking up from Android Police's story, but there you go. I mean, we can't really, there's not much to go over that. Verizon, somebody said that Verizon might not sell Google Pixel phones in the future. And now Verizon is refuting that, saying, no, we're still going to sell them because whatever, Google's going to give us money to market their shit. And again, like, let me go off on a small rant here, but I said this the other day, buy the phone that you can afford. Don't do these like monthly plans. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like old school but I just believe that if you cannot afford a phone today, right? If you haven't saved your money for it or you just can't afford it, just don't do the 2-year plan, man. Like you're going to if you break your phone in 3 months and then you're still just buy what you can afford. You don't need to do another monthly plan of, I don't know. Who am I to talk, right? Like, don't let me tell you what to do with your money. I'm going to sit here and tell you to send me super chats, right? So, support me on Patreon, but like, yeah, that's just how I feel. Is just I just don't like the whole. I just think it's a predatory thing, to get people to like pay monthly payments, so you're stuck with them for X number of years. If your phone breaks, then they don't care, whatever. Just and like I don't support these carriers anyway, because their accessories are so overpriced. They're yeah, I know companies have to make profits. All these greedy companies have whatever. But yeah, and I'm really not for carriers because they end up putting bloat on your phone. Just buy them unlocked, get them from the direct manufacturer or wherever you can get an unlocked phone, so it doesn't have extra bloatware on it. It doesn't have extra shit you don't need from a carrier. Not only that, but when a carrier puts their stuff on it, most times it's going to take a while for your phone to get updated. Like, so when Samsung releases a new update for its phone, and if you have a Verizon phone that has bloatware on it, you're going to have to wait a little longer most times to get that update. So, okay, let me go through this really quick here. George says, I believe I saw an article that said both Verizon and T-Mobile will carry OnePlus. Oh, well, that's good. It's nice to see that both of them will have it. Karen says, I own Google Pixel 3, but I'm in China studying, and because it's a Google phone, it doesn't work over. Oh, really? That sucks. Bought the Mate 30 Pro and sideloaded Google Play Store. Oh, that's great. That's great. I've never had a chance to mess with any of the Mate phones, but that's good to hear. Um, Six says you can get the phone you want. You just have to wait, especially with Android phones. Wait till the bugs get fixed. And then he says their prices drop dramatically, which is very true. You can get a lot of good deals on Android phones because they just do not hold their value like Apple phones do. Um, Six also says also get 29 flagships. They're not bad at all. And six is I completely agree 100%. We live in this world where you want to get the latest and greatest. And I ranted about this the other day that you're going to hear these carriers tell you like 5G, 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 and it's not. No, don't buy into that hype. It's not where it needs to be just yet. Do not listen to what the carriers tell you. You can get a great phone today, um, an older phone that doesn't have 5G that's still going to be just as good, if not better, because a lot of these phones still can't get the speeds that 5G claims it can get. So, yeah. Anyway, George says he totally agrees. Karen says, I would love to sideload full Pixel software on it, though. Pixel software rules. Yes, completely agree. That is the reason that I have owned Nexus phones for so long and then, moved over to when they started selling Pixels. And I still love Pixel phones. I don't agree with their pricing. Although, did you guys see that deal from T-Mobile on Costco for the Pixel 4 for $299? That is a ridiculously great deal. And not even that one, but the Pixel 4 XL for $399. That is the best deal I've seen so far for a brand new phone. Like, if there's one phone I can recommend today at a price point, it would be that phone. Pixel 4 XL, $399 from Costco. I It says that you have to get it from T-Mobile, but I think it's an unlocked phone. I don't think they add any bloatware on it. But I'm that sucker that bought an $800 Pixel 4. So, who am I? Who am I to talk? Let's see. Will, what's up? What's up, Will? How's it going, man? I don't know how much of the stream you've caught or you haven't caught, but kind of went over a bunch of stories now. Anyway, nice to see you on the stream. Thanks for coming by. Okay, so let's continue. We talked about Android 11. We talked about the whole Verizon not selling Google Pixel phones, but they are going to sell them. They're saying that whoever said that they're going to find him and shoot him in the head. I'm just kidding. And so now we're going to talk about this one notification. And so to be transparent with you guys, I know nothing about this. I just saw a bunch of these stories come up. So this is new for me. I have no idea what this is about. So bear with me because I'm about to read through it right now. Android Police has this article that says you're not alone. All Galaxy phones got the mysterious, quote, one notification, Samsung clarifies. Late last night, Samsung sent a weird one notification. Oh, that's that is weird. Oh my God, can you imagine? Wow. I part of me is just like, I could see Twitter blowing up and they're like, what is this? Why am I getting this is so weird to see. Late last night, Samsung sent a weird one notification to all Galaxy phone users around the globe, which stirred up discussions across social platforms. Okay, so it did come up. I just want to click and see if people. Oh, okay. Okay, so Dieter Bond from The Verge. That's so weird. You see, that's how I would feel. Okay. Let me go back to this article. Let's see. The notification came from the pre-installed Find My Mobile app, Samsung's alternative to Google's Find My Device app, because why wouldn't Samsung have an alternative to all of Google's baked apps? It clearly looked like someone at Samsung accidentally pushed the wrong button while testing something internally, which was later confirmed in an official statement. Let me just open this for a little later. Oh, it was a tweet. Okay. Tapping on the notification automatically cleared it with no subsequent action. However, our own Garrett noticed that the battery use by the Find My Mobile app was abnormally high, which some Twitter users also corroborate. It isn't immediately obvious if the battery issue is related to the erroneous notification, and Samsung hasn't clarified that either. So there's the little one thing, and then where's that other? Why is this not working the way I want it to? Huh. Okay. A few hours after the word quickly went out, with many throwing around their own theories, Samsung's UK arm cleared the air with a tweet. Oh, I guess it's this tweet here. Same thing. So hold on here. Uh, Recently, a notification about Find My Mobile 1 occurred on a limited number of Galaxy devices. Limited number. I wonder how limited that number was. This was sent unintentionally during an internal test, and there is no effect on your device. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused our customers. Samsung isn't alone here. Something similar happened when OnePlus blasted its phones with two unintelligible notifications back in July, though its impact was limited to OnePlus 7 Pro users. To err is human, and the developers testing out these apps are but human. So yeah, it looks like just an error going on here. Let's see. Let me go. I'll go through these comments a little later. So yeah, okay. It is kind of weird. That's a weird thing to happen, but I guess it's not. It's not the end of the world here. So JD says 64 gigs on those. That's a no for me, dog. Yeah, I get it. Right, like but you can't deny that 299 or 399 is not a great deal for a Pixel 4, even if it's 64 gigs of internal storage. I mean, that's, again, you're right, JD. That's not for everyone, right? Like, I not everyone wants 64 gigs. It would be great if they had a similar deal, for the higher tier ones, like 128 or whatever. But you're right. Yeah. So da, 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 da. So okay. Uh let's move on, because I just have like a couple smaller stories here that I want to talk about. Um Droid Life has an article here saying Samsung working on update to allow 120 hertz refresh rate at WQHD plus resolution, which is great. According to two separate individuals who are usually quite good with their early Samsung details. Okay, so this isn't confirmed. The company is working on an update that would allow for the Galaxy S20 lineup to utilize their 120 hertz refresh rate capabilities at the maximum display resolution of WQHD plus. This is a big deal. It is. That's great to see. Currently, and I'm referencing devices that were at Unpacked earlier this month, the Galaxy S20 family, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and so the thing is, you were only able to use 120 hertz refresh rate when the display resolution is limited to FHD plus. If you want WQHD plus resolution, you'll be dropped back down to the standard 60 hertz refresh rate. According to Max Weinbach, am I saying that right? Hopefully. On Twitter, Samsung could release this change within 1 to 3 months should all of its testing go well. Well, that's quite the time frame. If indeed it comes, it'll likely be worth the wait for the Galaxy S20 owners. I mean, that's good. I know a lot of people are complaining about that. Chances are Samsung wasn't ready to implement this feature due to potential battery drain of WQHD plus display panels refreshing at that rate, which I think everybody knew. They were saying they weren't gonna give you the best refresh rate on the best display possible because they were really scared that battery was just going to drain quickly. And I think I made a video about this not too long ago that said, yeah, even if that was the case, they should have just put a warning and let you know, hey, using this display resolution at this refresh rate is going to eat your battery like crazy, but you can use it, just be warned. Like, I feel like they should have just done that instead, but it's good to see if, they're going to give you this option now. If they're going to like try to make it more efficient, then great. Let me see here. If you've always been a Samsung user and intend on upgrading to a Galaxy S20, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how smooth your UI looks when scrolling through it at 120 hertz. Regardless if it's FHD plus or WQHD plus, we enjoy the buttery smoothness around these parts. Okay. So yeah, great to hear. Let me see. Sorry, I shouldn't be humming like that. 6, that's because they heard what OnePlus is doing with their 120 hertz. Yeah, okay, no, that makes sense. Um, yeah, that's a really good point. Karen says, I never really understood the gigabyte hungry crave, especially with Google phones. I I understand that to agree, Karen, but at the same time, Google gave up a lot of their stuff on like having unlimited uh storage for Google Photos at its maximum resolution, or uncompressed resolution for its photos. That's something they gave up. Um, I record a lot of video, so it kind of eats up my stuff. I mean, it's different for everyone. 64 gigs, and I've said this before in the past, 64 gigs is usually almost always fine for me. But I mean, there are people who want 128, and I can't fault that. I really can't. Especially in today's world where just everything's digital. I mean, it would be nice to just know that you have a lot more storage just in case whenever happens. But I also get your point. I totally get your point. Um, Brian says here, just give us the option on the refresh rates. That is, again, completely agree. Like I said, if it's going to eat battery, just give us the warning. Oh, Karen says here, I always use Google Photos and keep all my files uploaded. Yeah, again, I hear you. I'm the same way too. I think people were just a little peeved when Google said they were taking away unlimited uncompressed photo storage uh, if you were a Google Pixel owner, because that was something that they gave you at the beginning. And then they said, no, we're not going to do uncompressed now. We'll still give you high quality, which is still fine for a lot of people. But, it's understandable why some people would be upset about that. Um, so JD says here, Karen, I travel a lot, so being able to store music and videos is a must for me. So there you go. Again, it's different for everyone. Like I can't sit here and pretend to be, everyone's case use is a little different. And like me, I gotta respect that from a lot of people. So okay. This is a story that I pulled up that I don't know. I might just kind of go through it real quick. It's not, these were just like some other things that I thought might have been interesting. So Google gobbling Fitbit is a major privacy risk, warns EU data protection advisor. And I haven't read this story yet. There, because and I just put a video about this yesterday that Mike and I were talking about on the Standard, um, where Google recently bought Fitbit. And so the European Data Protection Board has intervened to raise concerns about Google's plan to scoop up the health and activity data of millions of Fitbit users. So, yeah, here I am thinking that Google bought out Fitbit so they can make better smartwatches, but maybe they're using it because they just want more data. At a time when the company is under intense scrutiny over how extensively it tracks people online for antitrust concerns. Google confirmed its plan to acquire Fitbit last November. Regulators are in the process of considering whether to allow the tech giant to gobble up all this data. Okay, that's fair enough. Google, meanwhile, is in the process of dialing up its designs on the health space. Let's see here. Fitbit has previously claimed that users' health and wellness data will not be used for Google ads. Yeah, who knows how true that can be. However, big tech has a history of subsequently steamrolling founder claims that, quote, nothing will change, which is a big reason that I am very, again, skeptical about big tech pretending that they want to do good things when sometimes the ulterior motives are just how much data can we acquire, how much money can we make from it, and Google's no exception. Here again is this is coming from someone who has been a very faithful Google user for a while, and now I'm just like what do you want from us? That's really how I see a lot of this thing. So um they have the right to feel this way. I don't know what's going to come from it. I guess we'll just see what happens in the future. So, yeah, and that's it. Just a quick kind of blurb on that. And so this last article, and this is something I was already talking about earlier with the Pixel 4. They said in Android 11 they kind of pulled this in here, the battery share for reverse wireless charging. Um, yeah, I'm not really going to go through this. I kind of mentioned this earlier. Battery share is when you can give your phone, you like my Pixel 4, if they allowed battery sharing, that means I could share some of my battery with like my AirPods or like the future earbuds coming out, the Pixel Buds for the Pixel 4 or the Pixel phones. Um, but I would never share my battery on my Pixel 4 with anyone because there's just not enough battery to share, you know. And so they're talking about how Pixel 5 might have this, but again, if the Pixel 5 is going to have this, they better have really good battery storage, like a bigger battery. I mean, really, your answer there is put a bigger battery in the Pixel 5, you know, like do us a solid here, Google, put a proper battery on the Pixel 5 or have a much more efficient battery saving system. But no, we know what the answer is here. Put a bigger battery in the Pixel 5. That's it. That's really all I wanted to go through. So let me kind of just go through these last comments here. JD says also when Google said that they can't do 4K 60 frames per second video recording and blamed it on not having enough gigabytes. There you go. That Pixel Watch needs to be fire, but we'll see. Yeah, Mike and I were actually talking about the Pixel 5 or the Pixel Watch 2. We don't know if it's going to become a thing. We'll see if it does. You never know. And if it does, yeah, like it needs to be fire, but is it going to be fire or is it going to, you know where I'm going with this? Like I love Google. I've appreciated their Nexus phones. I've appreciated their Pixel lineup, but year over year it's been tough. And this is yeah. I'm gonna save that because I feel like every time I'm on stream, I'm just here shitting on something that is happening with Google and the Pixel and whatever, and of course, and of course, Will. I think Will loves it when when we're talking bad about Google because Will says if you share the Pixel battery, your phone would die. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Brian says here the Pixel needs a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. I wouldn't complain. Give me a 6,000 milliamp hour battery on the Pixel 5. I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay, guys, that should be it for my stream. I'm really surprised that I can sit here for about an hour and talk. Guys, thank you so much for joining the stream. Thanks for sitting here and like having me go through all these stories. Hopefully, you guys like this format. This is something that I'm gonna keep doing. I think this format works. I'm sure I'm gonna kind of like refine it as time goes on. Again, this is also really tough for me because for me to do these shows, I wake up at around 4:30 in the morning because I go to the gym and then I get ready and then I come down to the studio and get everything set up. And but yes, guys, thank you so much for joining. Brian, Brian with the $2 super chat. Brian, thank you so much for the support. It really means a lot to me. It does mean a lot to me from you guys that you guys are here and just to come and join and support and to offer this extra support. It does mean a lot to me. So thank you so much. Yeah, but guys, thank you for joining this stream. For those who are new, welcome as well. This is something I'm going to be doing regularly. So Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Eastern, I am doing these shows live, which is tech news that Jerome Ortega finds interesting. On Sundays, also at 9 a.m. Eastern, I do the standard with Mike Dixon from Simply Your Device, and I am so. Yeah, I'm gonna give a little shout out here from Will. So this Friday, is that what is today? Thursday? Yeah. I'm just so tomorrow, guys, you should check out Mobile Geezer's channel. Mobile Geezer is George. It's usually George, Will, and Mike. And they do Friday Night Tech Talk. And it's a similar thing, similar format, go through tech stories. It's something that I usually join them on, but I don't have really a place to do these tech shows with them anymore on Friday nights because like the studio I'm at, they're doing their thing. I'm that's why I'm here in the mornings. That's why I stream in the mornings. But yes, if you guys are still watching, please check out their show, Friday Night Tech Talk, Fridays at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern. So 7 p.m. Central. Sorry, I'm in Central Time. I'm in Chicago here. Will, Will with the super chat, with the $1.99 super chat. Will, like the format. Will, thank you so much. It's a similar format, so you guys are my inspiration. So thank you, Will, for the support. I do appreciate it. And again, thank you guys for always checking it out. Like Brian said, check out Friday Night Tech Talk. Amir, really quick, would the Pixel have dual speakers? Which Pixel are we talking about? Because the Pixel 4 has dual speakers. The Pixel 5 should have dual speakers. I don't believe the Pixel 3a does. I don't think the Pixel 4a would either. Okay, so Amir says, yeah, would the Pixel 5 have dual speakers? Yeah, it'll most likely have dual speakers. If it didn't, I would be very surprised, but I seriously doubt that. Apple stole my penny. Of course, Apple would. No. Will, again, thank you for the super chat. Guys, I am going to be ending it here. So thank you guys so much for joining. I will see you guys on Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, I said a.m. 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. Again, thank you for joining the chat. I will see you guys in 3 days. I might have another video that comes out then too. So again, thank you for coming by. Thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you guys soon. I am ending the broadcast, and this is always the awkward part where I have to like have awkward silence because I don't know if it's ended yet. I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to end it. So, okay, bye.